Now let us see the next question. The next question that we have is based on fundamental rights. Bring out the significance of the fundamental rights provided in the Constitution of India. The rights to acquire, hold and dispose of property has ceased to be fundamental right. Examine the purpose of changes involved. So let us understand the question first. So if you see, there are two parts in this particular question. So first part is basically talking about bring out the significance of the fundamental rights. So here the main concept that we need to understand is the fundamental right. So in the introduction, it is quite evident that you will write or talk something about the fundamental rights itself. Similarly, when it comes to the body of the answer, there are two important themes that are being asked. One is mentioning the significance of the fundamental right, and the another important thing that they're asking you to mention here is examine the purpose of the change involved. That is, we have to understand originally we had right to property also as one of the fundamental rights, and because we wanted to do in a lot of land reforms etc., and the government was not able to do proper redistribution of resources and land reforms etc. So hence what happens here is, over a period of time, after many judgments and many cases, we have seen that under 44th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1978, the right to property was no more a fundamental right. It was made a constitutional legal right under Article 300A. So this is some of the basic information that you need to have regarding this particular question. Now what can be written? Let us see what is the demand, what all can be included in the answer. So firstly, we have to understand what can be written in the introduction. See, in the introduction, as I already mentioned, you can mention two things. What are the two things that you can mention? The point number one that you can mention is definition of fundamental rights. The second thing that you can mention here in the introduction here is that some basic facts, like you can mention that it is mentioned in the, or fundamental rights are mentioned in the part 3 of the Constitution, etc. Right? Basic facts like fundamental rights are mentioned in the part 3 of the Constitution. These are some of the things that you can mention in the introduction. Now let us see what you can mention in the body of the answer. See, as I told you that there are two important themes that we need to understand here. One is, so let us see what are the two themes in the body of the answer. Basically, you have two things that needs to be addressed. The first thing that you need to address is, or the first important topic that you need to answer here is, that is significance of fundamental rights. Secondly, you need to mention about right to property, the changes involved. Finally, in the conclusion, you can add some of the significance of fundamental rights in general, and you can also add some information regarding the right to property as well, right? So significance, importance or significance of fundamental right, and some information regarding the right to property. So these are some of the things that you can write, or this is the demand of the question basically. Now let us see one by one what are the steps that we need to follow. The point number one that we need to do here is write the introduction. So what can be written in the introduction? So first I'll write the introduction and then explain you what better additions you can do, how can you make your introduction much better. So let us start with the introduction. In the introduction, you can add, the fundamental rights are very crucial for protecting individual liberties and promoting welfare society. They are mentioned in the part 3 of the Indian Constitution and considered essential for overall development of individuals. Now, I want you to understand one thing here, right? So when it comes to the introduction, usually whenever you write introduction, try to write it in 2 to 3 lines for 10 markers. Now, once you write this introduction, you have to also underline the important keywords. For example, see, the fundamental rights are very crucial for what? Protecting individual rights. You can understand this, underline this, okay? Also, individual liberties and promoting welfare societies. So this is somehow or something that you need to do. When you write an introduction, try to highlight the important keywords. See, I already told you that you can write the definition of the fundamental rights. So the first line here is basically talking about the definition of the fundamental rights. That is, the fundamental rights are very crucial because they are going to protect the individual liberties and protecting individuals, their liberties, as well as promoting the welfare in the society. Apart from that, it is also mentioned in the part 3 of the Indian Constitution. This basically becomes what? This is your basic facts that you are understanding about the fundamental rights. This is how you can write your introduction. Now let us see how you can write your body of the answer. So in the body of the answer, as I already have mentioned, that you need to write a proper heading. Always highlight the heading in the box. So the heading here would be significance of fundamental rights, and put a box under this, or put a box around this particular thing, right? So once we are done with this, what we are supposed to do next here is we have to add points under this particular topic, that is significance of fundamental rights. So point number 1 that we can add here is protection of individual liberties. So here we need to understand how fundamental rights are protecting the individual liberties of a particular citizen. So let us understand that, and you can also add some explanation. If you can remember any of the articles, you can also mention about these articles as well, right? So for example, for this protection of individual liberties, you can mention that fundamental rights protect citizens from arbitrary state actions and ensure individual freedom, such as freedom of speech, expression, religion, and assembly. So, in this particular point that I have mentioned, see, what you have to understand is how fundamental rights are protecting the individual liberties. So, we all know that if state is taking up any arbitrary actions, you need to understand that you can directly go to Supreme Court and you can directly go to High Court if any of your fundamental rights are taken away from you. Arbitrary action, something which is violating your fundamental rights or something which is taking away your fundamental rights, anything as such happens, and you can directly go to the courts. That is what is mentioned over here. That is, it is protecting everybody's liberty. And similarly, we have got a lot of freedom when it comes to fundamental rights. Under Article 19, we have many freedoms, such as freedom of speech and expression is one of the freedom that we have. Similarly, we have freedom of religion. You can practice, profess any of the religion that you want to, practice. We have freedom of religion. You also have freedom to form assembly or, assemble for a gathering or something like that. You can form unions. You can practice any kind of profession. So all these are some of the freedoms that we got. So these all are protected under the fundamental rights. Now, the next important point that you can add in the significance here is that equality and non-discrimination. Articles like 14, right to equality, and 15, prohibition of discrimination, ensure that all citizens are treated equally, promote social justice, and reduce inequalities. So here, what we need to understand here is, see, we all know that under Article 14, we have right to equality, that everybody will be treated equally. So this is one of the important significance of the fundamental right. That is, fundamental rights are treating everybody equally. Okay, and there is no discrimination. So we have also seen in Article 15 that you will not be discriminated based on caste, creed, race, religion, place of birth, etc. Right? So apart from these, there can be other grounds, but these are some of the grounds on which they will not do any kind of discrimination. So here, what are we trying to do? We are trying to tell that all the citizens are treated equally, and we are trying to promote what? Social justice, and we do not want any kind of inequalities that are present in our country. So this is something that we want to do, and that is a important significance of our fundamental rights. The next point that we have here is, that is, safeguarding human dignity. Fundamental rights ensure that protection of human dignity and personal liberties, such as right to life and personal liberty under Article 21. So here we all know that we have Article 21, which is talking about right to life and liberty. So basically, what is this talking about? Right to life and liberty. That means nobody can take your life and nobody can take your liberty except for the law. Okay, if you have committed any crime, automatically your liberty will be taken away from you. That is a different story. But apart from that, nobody can take away your right to life and liberty. And this is very, very important, and that is ensured in our fundamental rights. So that is, it is trying to protect our dignity. And we all know right to life is not just living life, but also with dignity. And that is also ensured under Article 21. Right? Promotion of democracy. By ensuring free speech and expression, fundamental rights are vital for functioning democracy, enabling citizens to participate actively in governance. So we all know, see, if you remember in 2019, okay, we had Citizenship Amendment Bill that was passed, and many people did not like it, especially Muslims did not like that particular bill because Muslims were not included and there was so much of confusion that got created. So hence what you need to understand here is that if there is any law or any bill that is being passed, and if you do not like it, so can you basically raise your voice? Yes. So we have freedom of speech and expression, right? In the freedom of speech and expression also includes freedom of press, right? So here, if you're not liking any of the things that government is trying to do, what you can do here is you can also raise a voice against it. And that is a very, very important thing that we need to understand. And that is also promoting our democracy. Promotion of democracy is also done by our fundamental rights itself, right? And very, very important point that we need to understand here is, that is, judicial enforceability. Fundamental rights are justiciable, meaning individual can approach the courts if they are violated, ensuring legal protection and enforcement. Basically, what we need to understand here is that you can go to any of the courts, especially Supreme Court and High Court. The last point that here we are mentioning, here you can go to Supreme Court under Article 32. It says that you can directly go to under Article 32, you can directly go to Supreme Court. That means any of your fundamental rights are violated. What you can basically do is you can directly go to the courts and you can talk about it, you can get justice from there. So you need to understand that they are justiciable, means individuals can approach the court if they are violated, or any of the fundamental rights are violated, any of them are being taken away from you, you can go to courts. Okay, this is ensuring that there is a legal protection and enforcement as well. So these are some of the significance of the fundamental rights, right? So this is how you can approach the answer, this is how you can write the body of the answer.